Set your coffee down. You don't need it this morning. I'm your coffee the next 3 hours. Chuck Barrett's going to be along with us in about 30 minutes. Big C, Colton on hand. We got a lot to get to. I still remember watching that NFL draft with Darren McFadden. I thought he was a surefire an NFL prospect I've ever watched in my life, in my young, middle school life at the time. I was a Green Bay Packer fan, still am, bad one. But for a brief moment, I became a Oakland Raiders fan. Darren McFadden's my favorite Arkansas football player of all time. Really my favorite Arkansas football player of all time. And I'm like, man, Raiders are going to love him. Darren had a decent NFL career, just was hobbled by injuries, it seemed like. I really wonder, and the Raiders were a terrible organization at the time. Just terrible. I wonder what would have happened if he would have gone to a better organization. I think about that when this time of year comes around. Each and every time. We'll never know. Unfortunately. Chicago Bears got the first pick of the draft tonight. The Bears. I know we all know that SNL skit from back in the day. One of the best things that have ever graced SNL. It's awesome. They're going to screw it up. They always do. It's one of the worst organizations out there, not just in the NFL, but on all of sports. How do you just have one Super Bowl in Chicago? How is that possible? You got great fans. We got fans listening right now across ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and our brand new Hit That Line Now app, watching us. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and X. And you wonder, why do they just have one Super Bowl? I wonder that all the time, but it's the Bears. All right, if you're just jumping in with us this morning, maybe you went to bed early last night. It's 6 a.m. You probably did. Isaiah Joe, Jaylen Williams, a part of a 30-plus point win over the New Orleans Pelicans. And Isaiah, he had himself a game last night.
Williams in the corner. Dallas makes a move and kicks it out. It's a long shot by Isaiah. Sweet-looking rainbow.
I love that hockey pass from Jaylen Williams. Isaiah ends his night with 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, knocks down 2 of 2 3-pointers. They love him in Oklahoma City. So that's basketball. Maybe you missed that. What about baseball? Did you see what James McCann did to end the game against the Angels in the series in Los Angeles?
Adele, the time run at first. He's on the way to second. Here's McCann's throw.
You know they're going to take a look at this.
Los Angeles challenging the out call at second base.
Oh, that's a lot closer than I thought. That looks like he's safe.
He's definitely safe.
After review, the on-field stands, the runner is out. Stands, and the Orioles win the series with a assist of Adele.
Frankly, I'm surprised there's any fans in Anaheim to begin with. I didn't think that people of Los Angeles or the people of California cared about the Angels whatsoever, but you actually could hear boos on how that game concluded. You watch it for yourself. It's pretty close. I'll tell you. He may have ended the game according to the umpire's eyes and the replay, but that's about as close as it gets. It was very, very close. But that's some of the things that happened with your pro Hogs yesterday. Jaylen Williams, Isaiah Joe, James McCann, and encouraging to see, again, Razorbacks in the professional leagues doing some stuff as they always do. There's a lot to get to. Like I said this morning, I want to know if the Bears are going to do the right thing tonight. And all indications lead me they're going to screw this thing up and draft Caleb Williams. That's a mistake. Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. Go Jaden Daniels. Ryan Pours, their GMs, former Boston College offensive lineman. But again, they're going to mess things up because they're the Bears. And they always, and I mean always, screw it up. Ryan Poles, not Pours. Ryan Poles. And I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, a bad one at that. So I have had some fun over the years, especially Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers loved to torment the Chicago Bears fans and enjoyed just kicking the you-know-what out of them each and every year. But I would actually, as they're getting a new stadium, it's like $4+ billion, things on the river, it looks great. Now they sucked away $2+ million from taxpayers in Chicago. Thank goodness I don't live in Chicago. I don't even want to know what taxes are like paying in Chicago. Arkansas, I mean, they're bad enough, bad enough all across the U.S., but that increase is not going to be fun. But yeah, they're going to screw this up tonight. Which Razorbacks are going to be drafted tonight? Which Hogs are we going to see off? We're going to see, not tonight, excuse me. No Hogs are going to be drafted tonight. Let's be perfectly clear about that. Are we going to see Cam Little get drafted? Are we going to see Dwight McLaughlin get drafted? Bo Limmer, Brady Latham, some others. Are they going to sign free agent deals? How many guys? And then I want you to compare that to the other SEC schools that they play. Luckily, you don't have to play Georgia this year. You don't have to play Alabama. It's kind of how many guys that Saban and Smart get drafted. Which I would guess that, Nick Saban's doing the draft coverage. I was thinking, he'll be at a table. Nick Saban's debut for ESPN is tonight. Y'all know I'm a big Saban guy. Now, I'm excited about the NFL draft regardless, but I'm curious to see how Nick Saban is on the headset and on the setup. I think it's going to be really interesting, not just because of him, but it is the NFL draft. This is a spectacle. This is an event to me. I look forward to it each and every year. And like I said, this is not a Traylon Burks year. We don't have a guy that's going to be picked tonight. This isn't a situation, hey, where's the first round going? You might want to stay tuned for halftime later on today. And I guess Matt's probably been talking about, and I've listened to a little bit of this week. I haven't heard him talk about it, but this is a day that you really want to tune in to listen to Matt Jones. Because Matt has that perspective as a first-rounder, as a guy that's been drafted by an organization in the NFL, and kind of knows the ins and outs of what happens, what occurs. That's why his show is so unique with Phil, is because nowhere else in the state you're going to get that. Not a single radio medium, not a single Arkansas sports medium are you going to get the perspective of what you get on halftime, especially this time of year, from Matt Jones. So make sure, if you don't have plans, or you can listen online, however you had to do it, make sure you listen to halftime today with Phil, Matt, and Big C. It will be worth the listen, I promise you, as we get ready for later on tonight. And by the way, we're going to have it for you across ESPN Arkansas. So make sure that if you're in the car driving somewhere tonight, maybe got errands later or whatever, that you tune in right here on ESPN Arkansas. Because, again, this is something. I think every single one of you, I could be wrong, but I think every single one of you have an NFL team that you have some allegiance to. Now, some of you are diehards. Some of you are just kind of fans like me. I'm a bad Green Bay Packer fan, like I said earlier. But if I'm going to have an allegiance to the team, it's going to be the Green Bay Packers. And if you're going to have an allegiance to the team, it could be the Dallas Cowboys. I know there's a lot of bandwagon Kansas City Chiefs fans listening, which is fine. If you want to jump on Patrick Mahomes, I don't blame you. Kid's special. It's like he's the Steph Curry of football. You have to watch when he plays, and he plays with the joy. I mean, Mahomes, I think, changed the way that GMs look at the quarterback position because of his uncanny ability to make plays outside the pocket and just because he's a ball player. If I was a betting man, I would be back. I would be betting on the idea that Kansas City is going to be in line to win another Super Bowl this next season. And you can check out those Super Bowl odds on the Bet Saracen app. If you're wanting to make a little wager on tonight, if you're wanting to make a little wager on the baseball series against Florida this weekend, they've got it all for you on the Bet Saracen apps. They've got favorites, underdogs, odds, over-unders, player props, everything you need. Go download it now in the App Store. That's the Bet Saracen app. All right, when we return, Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back? Let's talk about that next.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, this is Taylor Green, Arkansas quarterback, and you're listening to The Morning Rush. Hello, friends. This is Matt Jones from Halftime. Join myself and Phil Elson as we do the show live from Lumber One in Van Buren, Friday, April 26th from 11 to 2, and we celebrate Customer Appreciation Day. Stop by, grab a dog or a burger, talk Razorback sports, check out Lumber One's new showroom, and let's have a good time. That's this Friday, April 26th, Halftime live at Lumber One, 3335 Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Ricky, go ahead, man. You're on the morning rush.
I think Texas is Bush League all the time.
Now we're talking.
They're Bush League.
Swing and a fly ball into deep left field. Back is Woodcocks. You got to get out of here. It's a 2-run homer by McLaughlin.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Me in Clarksville with a good text on the McClarty Daniel hotline saying the Super Bowl shuffle was good too. Yeah, there's plenty of NFL entertainment, not just around this time of year, but everyone has their favorite part about their favorite NFL team. And it all gets going later on tonight, which you can listen to it right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. It is a Too Stupid Thursday. And I want to talk about Reggie Bush coming up in just a sec. before I do that, I want to tell you about our friends at the Inn at the Mill. They've been around since 1992. It's a great spot in Johnson, off exit I-49. A couple great restaurants right around there. And if you're looking for a perfect location where you're close to Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, and Bentonville, then this is perfect for you. It's a great weekend getaway. There's no 2-night minimum during baseball weekends. So some of these upcoming series, think about this. Think about the upcoming series that you'll probably play in the postseason. Regional, get by that. Super regional. Those are weekends that you need a place to stay. So if you need one, call the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800. That's 443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. Always comfortable, always great. And it's kind of 2 hotels with one, so it's awesome. Get a homemade cookie. I promise you, you'll be glad you did. All right, let's talk a little Reggie Bush this morning. So for those that haven't heard, Reggie Bush was kind of represented his Heisman Trophy yesterday by the Trust and former guys. Spurrier was there, Tebow was there, and others. I know Johnny Manziel was a big pusher and proponent of him getting it back, and he's happy about that. Reggie Bush is one of the greatest running backs ever to grace college football. He was special, man. He was a dude. And we had one. Just heard the Darren McFadden draft, and luckily Darren's on our open. I told Tommy, I was like, as long as I am hosting this show, Darren McFadden will be on our open. So the moment that you hear Darren McFadden off that open, that means I'm no longer going to be hosting the show. Reggie was a part of an incredible run by the USC Trojans under Pete Carroll. Matt Leinart, I mean, think about that. Leinart wins the Heisman in 2004, and then Reggie wins it in 2005. He's just a ball player, man. He's a special dude. And he's good to decent NFL player. Didn't have the same stats. I mean, some guys just don't translate. See, I mean, like I said earlier, I thought Darren McFadden was a surefire NFL prospect as what, and he had a decent career, but not what I expected, and not what the Raiders expected and others expected. But again, bad organization. Sometimes you get sucked into that, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are. So everyone's asking the same question. It's the only question that has to be asked with Reggie Bush. Does he deserve to get it back? There are people on both sides of this. In my opinion, I heard what Clay said yesterday, and Clay made a really good point here and there about, well, Heisman Trophy guys were probably looking around saying, are we really going to try and convince people that we didn't get stuff under the table and we didn't do that? And I understand that. And I'm going to sound like an old curmudgeon and an older guy when I say I just don't care. I don't think he should get it back. I mean, I've seen people make the argument for, well, if Reggie gets his Heisman back, then Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And then they're insinuating all these other things. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's a bridge too far or what. But to me, it was caught red-handed. And I know it's legal now. But that's like, think about this. So when I was in school at the University of Arkansas, pot was illegal. And that's like saying if I was caught with an excessive amount of marijuana and smoked you-know-what out of it and then got in trouble, went to jail, whatever I was charged with, right? And didn't get a certain award or certain significance because that, or better way to frame it, I had my taken away because of the crime I committed, quote-unquote, at the time. And this wasn't a illegal crime. It's just against the code of the NCAA in college football, and particularly the Heisman, the view of the Heisman Trophy, which is supposed to be this like revered trophy, which it is. And then all these years later, because it's legal to a certain degree in certain states, whatever, I just show up. No, I did something that was against the rules at the time. And unfortunately, even if it was 10 or 5 or whatever, because he got it, was it 14 years later? Yeah, 14 years later without it. Won in 2005, I think took it away in 2010. I don't think that's fair for me to get like the award back because I did something that wasn't right at the time. And you could say, oh, well, Ty, that's an apples to oranges. That's an apples to oranges comparison. That's the best one I got. Like, I didn't have the accolades that Reggie did when I was in school. I'm just trying to think of something I maybe could have done in academia or a scholarship. I did have a couple scholarships my sophomore, junior, and senior year. So maybe that would be something that it was taken away from me, but then years later it was presented back to me. No, I did something that wasn't right at the time. And I think one of the reasons that we always talk about, like, think about your grandkids or your sons or daughters or whoever, and they have it easier than you did. No question. I have it easier than my dad did. I had it way easier than my grandpa did. I have it easier than Chuck. I've had it easier than Tommy and radio and a lot of other people that have graced these halls. But I know that. I'm very aware of that. And letting people off the hook or off easy is one of the problems with our society today. He broke a rule. Even if it's legal now, it was a rule then. And that is my strong take on that he should not have been given back his Heisman Trophy. I am curious what Chuck thinks about this, and I'm curious what you think about this. If you have an opinion, jump in. 877-377-6963 is our number for the McCarty-Daniel hotline. Did Reggie Bush deserve to get his Heisman back? I don't think so, but we'll find out later in the show as we continue on that topic. Hey, do have some good news for you here this morning, that you had a couple guys on campus yesterday. Boogie Flan, and I always forget the second kid's name. I forget it every single time, but you got 4 5-star kids on campus, which is always a good thing. And I know people are wondering, will you see a commitment sometime? Billy Richmond's the kid's name. Sorry. Boogie Flan and Billy Richmond are the two guys that are on campus. I'm assuming there's some type of friendship there. They play ball together or something. Jeff Borzello is going to join us. Jeff Borzello is going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock. I know a lot of you can't listen to that. Listen to it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast, but we're going to get an in-depth perspective of him. This is a college basketball guru from ESPN, and we're going to get his thoughts on what's going on there with their recruitment. Not just their recruitment, but other guys Cal may be after. So make sure either tune in online, hitthatline.com, or Hit That Line Now app, or listen to it later on any of our on our podcast, or you can watch it later on once the show is done. Hey, we're brought to you this morning by APAC Arcola. They've got immediate job openings in the Boone, Marion, and Baxter County areas. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, concrete finisher, diesel mechanic, or you have paving or concrete labor experience, apply today at jobs.crh.com. They offer top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits, including the entire retirement, insurance, and profit sharing. One more time, jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer. Chuck's going to join us. Reggie Bush, Isaiah and Jaylen last night. James McCann finishing it up. And there's an upcoming game in Ireland that I want to go see in college football. See if Arkansas ever plays it there. Let's talk all that next.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here and hitthatline.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
That's my hero. I want to be when I grow up.
This is the Morning Rush.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a GMC Sierra Crew Cab at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Choose from 2.7 or 5.3-liter Sierra Crew Cabs this month and get 2.9% for 72. Or get up to $6,500 in factory rebates on select 2024 GMC Sierra trucks. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
We're asking these guys to come in and be great right out of the chute, and it's impossible. It's like asking a freshman quarterback in the SEC to come in and win you a championship. Man, those guys are generational when they can do that. The expectations placed on quarterbacks out of the gate are just wildly unrealistic now.
And the expectations that accompany Caleb Williams will fall short. If the Chicago Bears and Ryan Poles draft him later on tonight in Detroit, Michigan, the fans are going to be disappointed. But that's just the Bears organization in a nutshell. They do this every year. They fail in the draft, they fail in trades, and there's a reason they've just won one Super Bowl in 1986. Chuck Barrett's going to join us momentarily here. We got a lot to discuss. We got an NFL draft tonight. We got Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back. We got a big baseball series this weekend. And we'll get to all that coming up in just a bit. Hey, Tommy always talks about making sure you're not distracted on the road. And from Arkansas State Highway and Police, they want to make sure that you're not texting, you're not doing drugs before. I mean, just because that certain things are legal now from a medical standpoint in the state doesn't mean you should get behind the wheel when you do it. So if you drive high, you're going to get a DWI. Really pushing it this past week. So make sure, again, when you get behind the wheel of any vehicle, whether it's your truck, car, SUV, that you are completely focused on the road. There's way too many fatalities. There's way too many crashes. There's way too many things going on in this state that really could have been prevented. Drive high, get a DWI. Again, this brought to you by Arkansas State Highway and Police. Chuck, I don't know what you've been asked more about the last week. Is it John Calipari or is it tickets for this baseball series this weekend, man?
Hey, I don't know. That's the first of the week. It was clearly John Calipari. I don't know. As the week's gone on, tickets have become a hot topic. There's going to be a lot of people at that baseball game on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of people there Friday night and Sunday too. But Saturday, man, that's that may break a record.
It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. By the way, I got a Bears fan texting me. It was 85, not 86. I said it earlier right in the show, but we do have Bears fans listening that are, I guess, curious about tonight. Chuck, is this we're going to have it right here on ESPN Arkansas. Is this appointment television for you? I don't know if this is more my generation or if this is something you look forward to, but I love this NFL draft. I look forward to it every year. How do you feel about it?
I've never been a big watcher, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I think there's I guess there is a generational aspect to it. I mean, I guess there is because the draft was not a television event when I was growing up. I didn't grow up watching it. And so I keep up with it. I mean, I keep up with it. I get alerts, kind of like everybody else. But I don't watch it quite as much as maybe some do.
Well, there are going to be some Razorbacks, not tonight, but could possibly get their names called in the next couple of days. Dwight McGlothern, I think, is going to be first off the board. That's just my gut. You wonder about Bo Limmer, Brady Latham, maybe Trajan Jeffco. Cam Little's another guy. I know kickers aren't always the ones that get drafted, but you could have some Razorbacks the next couple of days that make some money either out of the getting drafted or free agent deals, Chuck.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some guys that'll have opportunities. There will be some drafted, but there will also be others, I'm sure, who have opportunities via the free agent route. You just look at an NFL roster right now. Pick your position. And you've got guys that, perhaps when they came out of college, they were not projected to be, long-term NFL guys that were going to make a career out of it. People mature at different rates physically, mentally, the whole deal. And so, yeah, there's going to be guys. There will be someone out of this group stick. I mean, there's always somebody, generally anyway, there's someone that sticks.
Yeah, and hopefully Arkansas will have a guy that maybe wasn't as highly thought of heading into tonight and this weekend that ends up being. I think about like a guy like Ryan Pauly or I'm forgetting the Washington cornerback that's really had some success recently that was drafted a little later that picks him up.
Cam Curl.
Yeah, Cam Curl. That's what I'm thinking of.
Safety. He, it's funny. When Cam was here, I know the people around Cam. Was his family. Man, they really thought he should have been playing more. They were really upset with the way things were going. And I can remember thinking, I don't know that he's really as good as you guys think he is. But he is, and he was, and they were right. And so, give him credit because he's fashioned a very nice professional career.
Dre Greenlaw, I know, is going to be rehabbing that Achilles injury, but a guy that's really stepped up for the San Francisco 49ers. Good chunk of Razorbacks, and hopefully you'll see a few others called off the next couple days. Well, a guy that we had Darren McFadden in our open, a guy that was just an electric running back. And you think about the combination of him really as a freshman in 2005, came out on the scene in 2006 and 2007, but his predecessor to a certain extent was Reggie Bush. And announced yesterday, it was actually during our show when Clay was on, Chuck, is Pete Thamel reports Reggie Bush is getting his Heisman back, and they're going to kind of not reintroduce him, but like re-give him back his trophy, which I saw the video of that yesterday. And we were having a conversation yesterday at the end of the show with Brandon Marcello, and he kind of gave his real-time thoughts on it. Clay gave his. I don't know if I'm fully on board with this. Maybe I could be convinced otherwise. I don't know if I'm on board with him getting his Heisman back. What are your initial thoughts when you saw that news yesterday?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you here. I never thought they should have taken it away from him. I know what they did was against the rules, and I know that there were rules broken. There's no question about that, and I'm not minimizing that. But the adults are the ones that screw everything up sometimes, and Reggie Bush, as physically mature as he was, and I know he was cocky, and I know the way he carried himself. I understand all that. That is the arrogance of youth. And all that came through. That was a bad deal. And they cheated, and they got caught. And whether it's against the rules now, doesn't matter. It was against the rules then. But having said all that, I never thought they should have taken the trophy away from him. I thought that was a pound of flesh for the sporting public. And I thought it went a little bit too far. Now, I don't think they ought to have a big ceremony. I don't think that they ought to have anything like that. I don't think they ought to celebrate him. I don't think they ought to say we were wrong and you were right, because they weren't wrong and he wasn't right. But having said all that, again, I think that's to take a Heisman Trophy away from a 22 or 23-year-old based on actions that were spawned by adults who wanted to win football games, I think that went too far. And I know that's probably in the minority.
Oh, maybe this text goes too far. Dallas texted. He says he gets my opinion on the Heisman, but he said even felons that lost their right to vote and they get their guns back after being pardoned. I don't know if that's necessarily.
Well, I mean, there's precedent, I guess, to give things back. I don't know.
John says, I guess that means that they will refund all the speeding tickets in the areas where they've raised the speed limit. He agrees with me, but he feels like I'm going to get slaughtered over this position because I have seen predominantly, and I think there's truth to what Clay said yesterday and what you just said this morning, but it was still a rule, right? Like, even if it's legal now, and we've kind of joked about Will Wade and some other things that happened in the last decade or two with coaches or players that were caught doing things that at the time were legal. I mean, it was still illegal at the time. And I kind of get where you're coming from, but on board, but what else are you going to do to make it significant to show that, hey,
punish the school. They did punish the school.
Mm-hmm.
They punished the school. And look, Reggie Bush has been punished for his entire career in the court of public opinion. His entire professional reputation has been altered by the fact that USC was investigated, found guilty.
Mm-hmm.
They took that trophy away from him. That has been his calling card, whether fair or not. That's been his calling card his entire career. That's the first thing you think of when you think of Reggie Bush. I think that's too drastic a punishment for a kid. If he was 30 years old when all that happened, that's a different deal. That's a different deal.
Okay.
But when you're 18, 19 years old, you can be easily led astray. Easily led astray. And a lot of the time, the people that you look at, and I see this a lot with these kids, the guys they think are taking care of them are really just taking care of themselves. Yep. And so I've just philosophically always had a hard time when the kid bears the brunt of the punishment, because it's all started by adults. Everything was started by some adult somewhere.
More text on this. David in Hot Springs, to your point, says an 18-year-old kid can't accept the legal benefits that the adults in the room don't offer him. Punish them, not him.
I agree with that.
Getting paid doesn't affect his ability. He was the best player that year. give him the trophy. There's some truth. There's a lot of truth to that. JB from Rogers is texting, and he said, if I was Reggie, I would tell the Heisman committee to stick their trophy where the sun doesn't shine. Great text, JB.
He's probably thought about that a time or two.
A time or two, yeah. I know he's petitioned. I know there's been Heisman Trophy winners like Johnny Manziel and some others that have come to his defense and were still mad prior to yesterday's announcement and reinduction ceremony of sorts that he deserved the Heisman Trophy, because I think there is some truth to, like, he was the best player in college football in 2005. I think anyone that watched the sport, you can't contest that at all. And you think about what's crazy, it's like Alabama a couple years ago had Najee Harris, Mac Jones, and Devontae Smith were all three Heisman finalists, and Devontae ends up winning it. Then that team had Matt Leinart, who won it the year before, and then Reggie that won. I mean, you talked about one of the greatest college football runs that we've ever seen in the modern era. I don't know if we give enough credit because of the football we watch down here, Chuck, in the SEC.
Well, I know that USC team that we played out in Los Angeles was the best college football team I've ever seen. And I would go so far as to say, in the 30 years that I've been around this place, I've not seen one Alabama team that could have beaten them.
Wow.
That's the best college football team I've ever seen. It's the only college football team I've ever seen where I thought most of the time, I don't mean part of the time, I mean most of the time, the teams they played were in awe of them. And look, I've seen Alabama essentially be ahead 21-0 before the game ever started because people were scared to death of them. I know how that works. But I'm not sure, well, I am sure, I've never seen a better college football team than that one. Not even close, frankly.
Because you think about, you went to Los Angeles and you lost like 70-14, and then the next.
And it's not because of the way they beat us. I mean, it's because of the way they beat everybody. They could have scored 100 on the Razorbacks that night. They could have scored 100.
I remember Tommy was telling me this story. Chuck, isn't that like the highest attended live show? Didn't like 200 people show up to a live show y'all did to get tickets for that game? I remember him telling me a story like that, but he said it was the craziest live show that you guys
Clay
have ever
set it up.
Okay.
Clay set it up with some people through Stevens.
Okay.
And they were having a party, a gathering of people that were, believe me, way out of my income level. And it was, I want to say it was in Santa Monica. I forget. It was on the beach. It was really, I mean, I was young. It was a hoity-toity deal, man. I was overmatched in many respects.
Heck yeah.
But we did the show out there. Clay set it up, and we had a hell of a time. And that was the best trip I've ever been on until the game started. Except for the game. That was a great trip.
Yeah, real quick before we go to Jimmy, you can make fun of me after I say this story. My sister's getting married in Santa Barbara, which is right by Montecito, Santa Monica and stuff. And I was calling yesterday just trying to get some golf course prices. Nothing below $300.
Maybe it was Santa Barbara where we were. Clay will have to tell you. It was a Santa something. I remember that. And, yeah, go to Jimmy. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's a cool backstory. All right, Jimmy, you're on the McCarty Daniel hotline. Your thoughts on Reggie Bush this morning?
Hey, if you're going to do this for Reggie, I think there's a whole lot of SMU Mustangs that need some stuff back.
Eric Dickerson and Craig James, man.
Pony Express.
They were just kids, too, that they were kids and, the adults.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Right? Go Hogs. Let's beat them Gators. See you guys.
Thanks, Seth.
Here's the thing. Nobody's excusing it. We're talking about a trophy. We're talking about a trophy. Do you give him the trophy back? Should you have taken it away in the first place? It's a symbol. And again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. It was symbolic in that taking it away gave an outraged sporting public their pound of flesh. And that's what it was all about. And, again, I'm not excusing what they did. I'm just saying that a trophy, he was the best player in college football. Simple as that.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Now you started, Chuck, you bring up the USC. Now we've got the best college football team debate.
I know. Started a whole different debate.
Robert's texted and he's like, well, Chuck didn't watch the 95 Nebraska or 2001 Miami Hurricanes team.
I know. No, what I'm saying, you're right. I didn't see him in person like that. I didn't see. Hey, lots of times, and I'll be very honest on this, maybe it's just the fan in me. I don't know. But man, I notice what teams look like when they run out on the field. I notice how they carry themselves when they run out on the field. It reminds me of my childhood watching those old Texas teams run out on the field. You just knew by looking at them they were a cut above. And I can remember watching USC run out on the field that night thinking, ooh, we're getting ready to get drilled. This is not going to be a good night. Hey, let me pause just for a second and talk to you about my friends at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you are buying or selling a home, downsizing, upsizing, moving, transferred, whatever your situation is, I really do want to recommend them. They've been my partners really my entire adult life in terms of moving and buying a home, first time to where we are now. And each and every step of the way, I mean, they have become literally more of a partner. It's a relationship. And, it started because they listened. They really did. And there's been an open line of communication throughout. And that's what puts you at ease because, it's a big transaction, whether you're buying or selling. Maybe the most money you've ever spent. Sure was in my case. And you want someone on your side of the table who understands the game. And, man, they got us from contract to close. And at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. And that's perhaps what they do better than anything. Look, they've got offices all over the place. They're in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith. You hear us talking about their office in Branson. They've got a great selection of homes, and you can check it out at WeichertGriffin.com.
So Calipari has got some guys in town this weekend. Boogie Fland and Billy Richmond, two highly recruited 4 or 5-star, depending on what recruiting service you watch. They're both in Fayetteville last night. They're both in the practice facility and just going around. Those are the two guys that fans want to know about. Chuck, we saw with Carter Knox, he basically has his visit and commits within 24 hours. I'm not going to be surprised if I see something during halftime or Ruskin and Zach later on today that one, if not both these guys, could be Arkansas Razorbacks by the end of the afternoon.
Could be. If it follows the pattern before, that's certainly a possibility. I guess we'll all be watching social media today. That's where the announcements always seem to come from now. But it sounds like things are looking good. Let's just put it like that.
I've seen some other national reporters. We're going to have Jeff Borzello on later on the show, 8 o'clock, give us a perspective from that side of things. But Jonell Davis, the point guard / wing for Florida Atlantic, and then also I saw Onyenso, who was planning on going to the NBA draft, and I guess he's still in that process, but also has entered the transfer portal. So that kind of perked my eyes up a little bit. So I'm still, again, there's so many names, so many national guys, so many Kentucky guys you're trying to keep an eye on, but those are the two names last 24 hours or so that kind of piqued my interest a little bit.
Well, I think one of the things we're also discovering is it's not just about the guys who committed to him at Kentucky. You just mentioned a player's name from FAU. So, you've got guys out there, and obviously Jeremy Roach ended up going to Baylor, but you've got great players for other teams that are in the transfer portal. It's, again, it is like the free agent market in that if a player has a good year somewhere, and particularly an unexpectedly good year, he's going into the portal because he's going to test the waters.
One of those guys being Jonas Adu, who we got asked about on the McLarty Daniel hotline from the 870. That reports that he is going to make a visit. I don't remember if it was this weekend or if it's planning on making one, but it sure sounds like that he's gonna. He dominated in Fayetteville last year. Maybe he could be on your side moving forward.
He's a prime example of a player who really came on. He's developed real skills. He was not a ball skills guy when he started at Tennessee. He is now. He's a finisher. He can finish at the rim, not just get there, but finish. And he's legit. He's a legit NBA guy now. And his value's never been higher in terms of collegiately. So, he's a prime example of a guy who had a great year, and he's going to find out what he's worth.
We've talked about how rare it is to find great offensive and defensive tackles in college football out of the portal, or how much now they're worth. You think about the emergence of big men in the sport. I mean, we saw Klingon and Edey going back and forth in that national championship. Those are two of the best big men in college football, basketball. Last 3 or 4 years, you've pretty much had a big man on every team that's won the national championship. I mean, these guys are not stupid like Ada. They're seeing it. They're like, well, I have a chance to make more money elsewhere. And I think that's like I don't think that he didn't like Rick Barnes. I don't think he didn't like Tennessee, but it's to your point. No. It's like he can make some money.
It's a business now. I mean, amateurism's dead. I mean, we may not like it, but it's just the truth. It's these players view themselves as businessmen now, and for better or worse, that's just how the game's going to be played. And Adu, he's doing what a lot of people would do in that spot. He's doing what a lot of us might advise someone in our family to do. I mean, that's just kind of the way it's working now. And it may go against everything you've been taught, everything you believe, but that's how they're doing it now.
So that's the latest. Again, the two guys that are on campus as of last night, Boogie Flynn, Billy Richmond. We'll see about names like Jonell Davis, Onyenso, mentioned Jonas Adu and others, the possibility of them coming to campus for a visit. Just make sure you stay right here on the Morning Rush, Halftime, and Ruskin and Zach for all of your Cal information. We make sure to get that out there. Chuck, NFL drafts tonight. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I always love hearing from some of the past stuff when it comes to the Chicago Bears. The best NFL, the best SNL skit of one of the best of all time has to do with the Chicago Bears. I love hearing this stuff.
Carl Walarski. How you doing, Bill? All right, we're talking here live from Ditka's on the heart of Chicago, Illinois, the city of the big shoulders, and home, of course, to a certain football team which has carved out a special place in the pantheon of professional football greats. That team which is known the world over as the Bears.
Bears. Is there a worse run organization with better fans out there? Because if there is, I got to find it. Because they have gone. I mean, I know Chicago.
Spoken Bears. Like a true Packers fan.
Yeah, there's some truth in that. But I went to college with 3 diehard Chicago Bear fans, and they are as true a fan as there is out there. 1 Super Bowl, not even in their lifetime, to show for their troubles. And I guess they went with Grossman back in like 07 or 08. But man, I think they're going to fail. They're going to draft Williams, and he's going to be a bust later on tonight, I think.
Well, the Bears play a lot of 13-10 games, 16-13 games. They've never been real prolific offensively.
Maybe Williams changed that. Maybe that new $4-point-something billion stadium changes that. Hey, for over a century, your friends and neighbors at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas have helped you keep your farm or your ranch up and running through good times and the tough ones. Visit myaglender.com or drop by any of our 25 locations to see how Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can keep your farm or ranch operating from from sunrise to sunset. That's myaglender.com or see them at any of their 25 locations. Hour 2 coming up. We got some Pro Hogs to talk about. Thunder win game 2.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Company craft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30 for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is the Morning Rush.
Engagement season is in full swing, and Diamond Center wants to be part of your story. For the entire month of April, we're offering 5 years of 0% interest on purchases. That's right, 5 years, 60 months, 0 interest financing. There has never been a better time to pick out the perfect engagement ring and pop the question. Let Diamond Center help you begin this next step of your journey together with 5 years of 0 interest financing for the entire month of April on all custom design and in-stock pieces of jewelry. Diamond Center, a legacy of love.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where it's spring cleaning time. The lot is blooming with fresh road-ready certified inventory and weekly specials that could save you up to $4,000. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, trade today and save up to $4,000 during spring cleaning at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
It's time to vote for your favorite high school player of the week. ESPN Arkansas and Shamrock Roofing and Construction are recognizing the most outstanding high school student athletes. Visit hitthatline.com each week to vote for your favorite athlete of the week. The high school player of the week is brought to you by Shamrock Roofing and Construction. No one can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock. Visit them at shamrockroofer.com. Visit the nominees each week at hitthatline.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, showers and thunderstorms becoming likely. Will be in the low 60s north, low 70s south. Chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight, overnight low, upper 50s to low 60s. And some active weather on Friday. Showers and thunderstorms could be strong to severe. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
With the fourth pick in the 2008 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Darren McFadden, running back, Arkansas.
You knew the reaction would be loud, and it is. As the player that most people say is the most talented, with the biggest upside in the draft, is selected by the Raiders.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McCarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
You know, for a brief moment that night in 2008, I became an Oakland Raiders fan for about 5 seconds. And then I decided, you know, I can't be a Raiders fan. As much as I love Darren McFadden, he's my favorite football player of all time, I can't jump on board with, at the time, Al Davis and now his son Mark heading up that organization. They moved to Las Vegas since then, and still haven't done squat since. We welcome you into hour number 2 of the Morning Rush here on a Too Stupid Thursday. Now, you don't really need coffee at 7 a.m. this morning. Chuck and I will be your coffee for the next 2 hours. We got energy, kind of like Jaylen Williams did last night. Even in the NBA, players have to deal with the J. Will experience.
Sprinting ahead. Bounces right into J. Will. That should be an offensive foul, and it is. Ingram gets a little bit of the J. Will experience.
Chuck, as many times as he's been on his back the last 4 or 5 years, I hope he ices that thing, man. I mean, goodness gracious. He has taken more charges in the last 3 or 4 years than I've seen any basketball player.
I've always enjoyed watching him play, you know, at both ends of the floor. You should have fun playing your game. I mean, you should have fun, whatever your job is. You should have fun doing it. His job's to play basketball, and he has a great time. And Isaiah, you know, to see both those guys experience that, and not just experience it as, you know, rookies sitting on the end of the bench. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, you know, to experience it as real contributors. And both these guys, first off, came out of the same high school. I mean, you know, it's just incredible. And but, you know, both those guys have gotten so much better. I think about the types of, you know, where they were in their game, so to speak, when they got to Fayetteville, when they came out of Fort Smith, and, you know, where they are now. And it's really remarkable.
Both of them put on some weight. I remember talking with Isaiah.
Well, the good weight.
Yeah,
the good kind of weight.
Not our kind of weight.
It's not like coming up to you or me and going, hey, you put on some weight.
I remember with texting Isaiah's dad, Derek, how he put on 20, 25 pounds of good muscle, and he's put on more since then. And Jaylen, you can tell, is beefier now. They've both been in the weight room. They've both been putting in the work. And the thing about watching Oklahoma City, if you watched them last night, which I know a good chunk you did, or you're waking up this morning hearing the news that they're up to. I mean, they smashed the Pelicans. They won by 2 in the first game.
Earlier.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. They won by 32 points last night. That looks like a college team. I mean, you think about that core. Jaylen Williams beat Chet Holmgren in San Francisco. Your Arkansas Razorbacks defeated Gonzaga. He was a freshman. Jaylen was a sophomore. Isaiah's a young guy. Giddey's a young guy. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, they look like they're college kids playing in the NBA.
Well, it's the youngest team, I guess, that's gotten this far. Maybe the youngest team in the NBA. I don't keep up with it that closely. You know, you talk about players developing. That Holmgren kid. You know, I watched them last night, and, I mean, he's a player now. He does not have the physical build. For example, the guy for New Orleans just kind of schooled him. there at the start of the game. But, there was one sequence there where he blocked a shot and, picked up the ball, after he blocked the shot like Bill Russell used to do, and, dribbles the ball down the floor, crosses a guy over. He's a 7-footer, so he's made a big advancement in his game. But that's a young team, and, man, they're having fun, and you can tell when you watch them play, the people that come to watch the Thunder play are having fun too.
Well, as happy as I was about that, we did get the news last night that Naz Reid won the Sixth Man of the Year over Bobby Portis.
You kidding me?
Are you kidding me? I want you to listen to these stats, Chuck, and you tell me who you think's deserved the Sixth Man of the Year. One guy averages 13.8 points versus 13.5. One guy averages over 7 rebounds versus 5. Same assists, same steals. One guy shot 51% from the field, 41% from 3, 79% from the free throw line. The other guy shot 48% from the field, 41% from 3, and 74%. Now, is it the first or second guy that deserves the Sixth Man of the Year?
Well, actually, Bobby was third, if you want to get right down to it. Monk was second. And you can make a pretty good case for Monk, too. All of them had great seasons. I mean, all of them did. And obviously, we want our guy to win. Now, here's what's interesting. 2 of the 3 guys are from our state.
Yep.
And, both of them were prize recruits when they came out of high school. Perhaps, honestly, Monk more so than Portis. But, that speaks well of our state to have 2 of the 3 finalists there. And look, Naz Reid's a great player. I mean, Naz Reid's
He's a stud at LSU, yeah.
I guess Monk scored more points off the bench than any player in the league, had more assists off the bench than any player in the league, had more 25-point games off the bench than any player in the league. You can make a case for all of them. I wish Bobby had won it. I mean, I'm partial to Bobby. I love Bobby. But the truth of the matter is I'm not sure that either one of them, you couldn't make a case for over Naz Reid. Naz Reid played on a really good team this year, and that benefited him.
Well, the Oklahoma City Thunder dominated it. And then in surprising fashion, the Miami Heat won in Boston in Game 2 without Jimmy Butler. I mean, I'm watching that. I'm like, how is this happening? But Tyler Hero.
You do not want to play the Miami Heat in the postseason. That is the worst draw you can have. I don't care where you're seated. I don't care where they're seated. That is a playoff franchise. It's the mentality of Pat Riley, who's been the head of that organization from the get-go. Eric Spoelstra is one of the most underrated coaches in pro sports. And I'm not saying they're going to win the series. I don't think they are. I think Boston wins the series. I think they'll win a game in Miami. But you do not want to play the Heat in the playoffs because they will always play over their heads.
I found myself in these NBA playoffs, and really since Cal has been hired, not just monitoring pro Hogs like Patrick Beverly, Bobby Portis, Isaiah Joe, Jaylen Williams, but also former Kentucky guys. And like Bam Adebayo had 21 points last night. Tyler Hero had 24 last night. Even one of Muss's old guys, Caleb Martin, had 21. So I have locked in on, and Shai Gilgeous and Cason Wallace, of course, play for my favorite team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I've been like, man, this helps Arkansas. As weird as it is to say, as former Kentucky players, anytime Cal's guys are stepping up, that's a benefit for Arkansas now, as weird as that is to say, Chuck.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, there's no doubt about it because his players are all over the NBA. And I don't mean just on rosters. I mean stars, MVPs.
Yep.
Guys that go deep into the playoffs, great teammates, guys that know how to play the game, guys that understand the value of being a great teammate.
Yep. So we'll talk more of NBA coming up. We got a lot to discuss in hour number 2. Your Morning Rush Daily Question. Should Reggie Bush have been given his Heisman Trophy back? Based on our text on the McCarty Daniel hotline, there are some definite opinions on that. Hey, one opinion is the same about the Fitzman, that you're going to get great quality work. Sean and his team do great things for all you that need something with commercial or residential property. It could be a simple fix, or it could be a large commercial job. This could be wood privacy fence, vinyl fencing. And again, anything from the small repair to a big commercial job. 782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. Call Sean at the Fence Man. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. He ain't afraid of no work. Reggie Bush, should he have gotten that Heisman back? We'll answer it next.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit MaverickMaleMedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a GMC Sierra Crew Cab at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Choose from 2.7 or 5.3-liter Sierra Crew Cabs this month and get 2.9% for 72. Or get up to $6,500 in factory rebates on select 2024 GMC Sierra trucks. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. and she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for two for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for two for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Reggie Bush was one of the most exciting college football players of all time.
Leonard gives the ball to Bush. He bounces in there for daylight, and he's got a first down. He breaks loose. It's a foot race down the sidelines. Bush is down to the 5 and scores as he somersaults into the end zone.
Man, Keith Jackson had a voice, didn't he? He was a great voice of college football for all those years. So if you haven't heard, the Heisman Trophy Trust has given Reggie Bush his Heisman Trophy back. 14 years without it, won in 2005, took it away, and forfeited it to the committee in 2010 for the improper benefits that he took at USC. Here's what he said in regards to getting it back. I also look forward to, together with the Heisman Trust, to advance the values and the mission of the organization. Should he have been given the Heisman Trophy back? I think it's baloney, humbug, garbage. I'm going to sound like an old man here, but I don't think so. Here's why. And I want to go back to my days in school. If I had, and I won a couple scholarships, nothing athletically, but if I had some academic achievements, and part of the credentials and the criteria where you have to have a certain appearance, certain framework, like you can't get in trouble, can't get arrested or whatever. First time I would have failed that. And then I did that after I had won those awards, and it was taken away. It should have been taken away, period. Rightfully so. Today's day and age, we give kids, grandkids, too much slack. He broke a rule. He should have got. I've heard the idea of, hey, he learned his lesson, or it was the adults in the room. He's an 18-year-old man. What do we say when you turn 18? You turn into a young man. He made that decision, and he should have to live with it. I don't agree with the decision to do it yesterday. I understand the push for it, and I know I'm going to be in the minority in this, but, Chuck, I don't think he should have been given the Heisman Trophy back as of yesterday.
Well, I disagree. I hear you. I think that, that trophy, taking it away was, that was the pound of flesh. That was, that's what a lot of people wanted at the time. And I guess there are probably still some, apparently, that wish it was that way now. I just think it's a trophy. It's a symbol. But it's a trophy that you give to the best player in college football. And we have this ideal. We still do. We hang on to it. We cling to it. That our sports heroes are virtuous. And when they're not, we get self-righteous to the point of it's like, what are you talking about? I mean, apply some of those standards to your own life. Here's the thing. I don't think they ever should have taken it from him. I don't think what they did was okay. I don't think he should have escaped punishment. I certainly don't think the adults in the room should have escaped punishment, but I don't think they ever should have taken it away.
Here's the things that I'll bring up that really come close to home here. If the Heisman Trophy Trust wanted to truly rectify something, they would take away Troy Smith's Heisman in 2006 and give it to Darren McFadden. It's a great point from Colton earlier. And then also, I've seen the Tattoo 5 brought up by Arkansas fans. Like what happened in the Sugar Bowl with the guys that were supposedly going to be suspended for next year, even though most of them went to the NFL draft right after that they played against Arkansas and won that game. And you say, well, they won it on the field. Well, they should have been playing to begin with, right? And I know he was the best player in college football. You're 100% accurate there. There was no one that touched his greatness in 2005. But there is a decorum. There is, and I don't care if it's legal now, There is a way to go about things in college football, and he did not follow the rules. He broke a rule, and we should not reward him, even if it was 10, 15, 20 years later. It was 05. He got it taken away in 010 for breaking a rule. That just doesn't sit well with me. And I know I'm in the minority on that, but I still feel that way. I feel like an old curmudgeon. I feel like we've switched roles this morning, Chuck.
Well, you sound awfully self-righteous there, Ty. I have to say, you sound awfully self-righteous there.
Yeah, I will say there is truth to that. That is your Morning Rush Daily Question. Should Reggie Bush have gotten his Heisman Trophy back? It is brought to you by our friends at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Now, let's talk to Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
Tom, we'll start you right there with our question. Should Reggie Bush have been given his Heisman Trophy back?
Good morning, y'all. I'm not opposed to it. I mean, it's what he was punished for. I think his parents had a home or whatever. There's probably a lot of that going on even after that. He's done a pretty exemplary job in the media business too. I think I've seen him on. I think he's on Fox on some of the Pac-12 or Big 12 stuff. I don't know, and it seems like he's done pretty well there. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's probably reflective of modern society and the way college football is now. As the Heisman Trophy Trust said yesterday, that they've been watching college football closely and came up with this decision.
Well, Tom, he was a guy that once he was drafted was highly talked about. Is he going to pan out or not? He had a solid NFL career, and for many young men starting tonight and the next couple of days, they will embark on their next journey. I know you're a Falcons guy. How are you feeling about the Falcons and their upcoming pick, and what are you watching for the next couple of days in the NFL draft?
Well, obviously, I'll be seeing what order the Razorbacks come off the board and if they can keep their streak alive 28 straight years of having someone drafted. I've seen the Falcons projected. Well, I've actually seen them mentioning some trade stuff where they trade down and get a couple of picks. I'm not opposed to that. Also, the DN I think it's from USC, is a really good defensive end. I can't pronounce his name. Letu. We need an edge rusher. It's one of our biggest weaknesses. We just didn't pressure the quarterback, get enough sacks last year. So if we can do that division, for a team that can assemble a decent roster, that division is there for the taking as it was last year. So I don't know. I'll watch it. What I find interesting with the Razorback deal is if you go around and look at all the different sites that project all 7 rounds, you'll see different ones like Chad Reuter of NFL.com. He has Cam Little, the first Razorback taken, 3rd round, which is pretty rare for a kicker. But and I wrote about this today. I mean, you see sites that have Dwight McLaughlin being the first Razorback taken, and Bo Limmer, and I guess there's even a chance that like Trajan Jeffcoat could be. So it'll be probably interesting to see which is the first Razorback off the board.
Who do you think it's going to be? I mean, you rattled off some names there. Who do you think's the first one off the board?
I just, as much as I like Cam and as money as he was as a kicker, I don't think it will be him. And then, McLaughlin tested pretty well. I don't know. I think Limmer's strength. I think it's going to be Limmer, and I don't know if I'd go 3rd round, maybe 4th. But then again, I don't look at the whole breadth of who's available in this draft. That is such a hard deal to do, but man, a lot of people do it.
Talking with Tom Murphy on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Tom, there's going to be some money made tonight in the next couple of days. Arkansas baseball has been money at home. 25 straight wins as they welcome in the Florida Gators this weekend. I saw one of your colleagues, Christina Long, had that Arkansas has won 14 out of the 20 games that they've trailed. What makes this team so hard to put away, especially at home?
That's a great question. They're very fundamentally sound. They don't give you a lot of stuff. It's like this staff is one of the lowest walk rates in the country. They strike out guys. So if there's runners all over the bases and you're striking people out, you have a better chance to get out of innings. They don't give up. Now, the concerns about the hitting are going to stretch right into the postseason, if you ask me. Took them a while to get going against UAPB the other night. But I just think they know how to play baseball. They don't get too high or too low. Completely reflective of Dave Van Horn, and just a really, really solid team. I wrote about this earlier, but man, if they can get Diggs going, it looks like Aloy's coming around. The middle of the order just needs to be tough. And if that's the case, there's less pressure on the bottom of the order guys. There's probably just too many guys hitting in the low to mid 200s right now, and they keep pressing for answers. I mean, they keep trying guys, and you can't blame them for rotating through the various left fielders and the catcher position and third base and stuff. So I don't know. It's just been a fun team to watch because of that. Not super explosive, but always in games, and I suspect the same will be true for this Florida series. One
of the reasons they seem to be in games a lot of times is not because of just their starting pitching, but their relief and closers. I saw that Gabe Gackle, Will McIntyre, and Stone Hewlett were named for the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association's relief pitchers. And you think about the attention that's paid to Hagen Smith. Have we? I know Mac hasn't had the best couple outings last few, but have we given enough credit to Hewlett, Gackle, and McIntyre and what they've been for this baseball team?
Well, we could start doing that because they have been really good. And the thing is, there's been a lot of Molina and Tiger starts that have gone 5 innings or 6, and the bullpen's had to do more. And they've come up pretty golden most of those times. I mean, you can think of a couple of games where the bullpen, like the Auburn game, Game 3, and then maybe just a couple of others where the bullpen didn't hold up well. But Hewlett has really developed into more than just a left-handed specialist. He's gone through full innings and gone against right-handers. Gackle, as a freshman, just does not seem to get rattled. Good repertoire. And hopefully McIntyre can find, I don't know what, maybe a release point or something that's costing him a little bit in the last couple of outings. But, I mean, you add in Cody Frank. He's had a couple of not smooth outings too, but on the whole, Cooper Dossett, you could add a lot of guys to that list that they've pitched very well.
I know basketball is still a hot topic in Arkansas as there is. You're wondering about maybe getting a guy like Boogie Flan or some others to add to Carter Knox. A couple guys on campus last night. Tom, when you look at what Cal has done with this recruiting class with just 2 guys so far, are you surprised that they haven't gotten more than just 2 commitments on here April the 25th?
Well, only slightly, because the potential for playing time is a big lure. The potential for playing for Cal, the idea that there's NIL money to spend, it's going to be honey, and players are going to be attracted to. It's a brand name now. We can thank Eric Musselman for turning Arkansas basketball back into a college basketball brand name. They're going to get invited to all, these preseason deals and all that kind of stuff, Thanksgiving tournament. And playing for Cal still holds cachet. So you can worry about it a little bit, but when it's all said and done, there's going to be guys to fill out that roster, and I suspect primetime players.
Tom, I saw a video that they posted from Arkansas Edge with John Calipari and the push to help kind of incentivizing people to donate. I think if I saw right, there's 700 plus members now. Do you think they're going to get the push they need with John Calipari's hire and maybe some recruits they get in these next few days that pushes them to that drive for 5, that 5,000 threshold that they want to be at?
Well, I mean, it will only help, and it's just now, I don't know what the numbers look like, but it's, that's a big number. And how many people in Arkansas have been, I don't know, frustrated by the modern game? I've got kinfolk who are just really tired of what college athletics has turned into, and some of them have even stopped watching it. They're a little older, and it frustrates me to a certain degree. But if you want to stick out your chest and have your team have a chance now, you got to be in the NIL game. So Arkansas fans have to realize that.
Tom, we'll leave it there this morning, man. We appreciate you jumping on with us. I know you got to keep your eye on football, basketball, and baseball, but that's why you do it, man. Appreciate you jumping on with us via the McCarty Daniel hotline.
You bet. We love our sports. See ya.
That is Tom Murphy. I don't know if he felt confident about his Atlanta Falcons, Chuck, based on kind of his tone when I asked him that question.
Well, that's just that's kind of the way it is on draft day or draft night. If you follow a team closely, I'm sure you hope it'll work out well for him. I want to go back to a couple of things he was saying there about baseball. One specifically, you asked him about the team coming from behind and the article and that Christina wrote, and then you brought up the bullpen. When you come from behind to beat someone, if you're going to come from behind and win the game, which they've gotten very good at, the first thing you've got to do is stop the other team from scoring. Forget hey, we got to get some hits and score some runs. First thing you got to do is keep the other guys from scoring. And I think that's where the bullpen comes in. And, it's not as though they routinely fall behind 6-0 or 7-0 the way they did the other night. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you fall behind 5-3 or when you fall behind 4-1. Those things are going to happen. And the first thing that's got to occur is the other team's got to stop putting runs on the board, and that's where your relievers come in. And I think they've been as key to this pitching staff as the starters that get a lot of the attention. Bullpens are very important. I've heard more than one coach say in college baseball, championships are won in the bullpen or out of the bullpen. And I don't know that that's completely true, but in some cases it is. And you better be good in that area.
I thought Clay wrote a really good column on hitthatline.com, and I know that people have been asking questions about the hitting. He referenced some pitching stuff there, but it's not, again, the attention that we pay to Hagen Smith, and rightfully so, and then with Molina, and then Tiger, and then you mentioned, again, we were talking about a couple of those three guys that are the bullpen, and then, so I mentioned those three guys. Then you got Dossett, you got Frank, you got all these others, and one of the reasons your midweek record is what it is at 10-0 is because, no other team has the midweek guys that you do. And you go up against even Texas Tech, for example. They're throwing guys that they're not bad, but they're just not 90+ a lot of times like Arkansas has. So you would know more than me, Chuck. But Dave said this. This is not me, my opinion. Dave said this is the deepest pitching staff he's ever had. Maybe not the best three starters. They're pretty stinking good at times, but I think that tells you something about what he thinks about his pitching staff.
Well, this is about recruiting, Ty. I mean, this is about recruiting at an elite level, and Arkansas has done this. We get hung up on recruiting rankings sometimes, and sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. But if you really look at Arkansas and where they've fallen in the national recruiting rankings in baseball, they've been right there in the top 10 for several years now. This is not an overnight phenomenon. This is something that has continually gotten better. And it's not always dramatically better. But you look at the arc of this program over the last 20 years, it's consistently moved. The trajectory's always been in the right direction, so to speak. And they've just recruited. I mean, and some of it's facility, some of it's the coach, some of it's the tradition of the program, some of it's NIL. There are a lot of things at play here. Some of it's the crowd, the atmosphere. Arkansas baseball players have it really good. The way they travel, the places they stay, the way they eat. Those guys have it really good by comparison. And so I think all those things have come together, and they have recruited at an elite level. And the reason that they're so deep is because they've gone and gotten these kids. And that's to their credit. Then they've developed them.
Yeah, like Gackle from Aptos, California, or Fletcher. And you talked to, I remember I was talking to a friend of mine who saw a couple former Razorbacks at Topgolf this summer, or this past summer, and they asked him, and it was like, why are you back? Or why do you, wasn't this summer, whenever they were in the off season. And it's like, because the facilities here are better. And you're thinking to yourself, it's like, how can a college facility be better than the MLB? And I get minor leagues or whatever, but that's just the case. So Arkansas baseball has it as good as any college baseball program in the country. I agree with you 100%. Hey, it is Customer Appreciation Event. This open house this Friday from 11 to 2 at WT Equipment. They want to celebrate the hardest working customers in the country. You're going to get 10% off all parts. You're going to save on steel all day long. Plus, they're going to have demos, brand partners on site, door prizes, and more. For more information, call them at 479-442-8284. Or again, stop by and see the event this Friday, tomorrow, from 11 to 2 at 4190 South 48th Street in Springdale. So I mentioned the video that was posted about John Calipari. Let's listen to this and tell me if you feel inspired or not to possibly give to Arkansas basketball and NIL.
Razorback fans, I'm honored to be the head basketball coach of your Arkansas Razorbacks and to go to work on building a championship caliber team that I know you will be proud of. But I need your help by joining the Drive for 5 campaign with Arkansas Edge. You can make a major impact.
So we talk about how Cal is trying to orchestrate and be the architect of this roster. We know in today's day of college athletics, Chuck, that it costs money. So guys led town as of last night, Boogie Fland, Billy Richmond, thinking Jonas Adu is probably going to make a visit, Jonell Davis, the FAU guard, maybe Onyenso, the Kentucky now transfer in the transfer portal. Again, they're not going to come here for free. So I am curious. Again, Arkansas seems to be in a good situation right now, but I wonder if that can grow in the coming weeks with potential additions, not just out of high school, but out of the transfer portal too.
Well, I think if they have success, then the answer to that question will be yes. If they don't have success, the answer to that question will be no. That's just the simple answer. I think something Tom said a little bit earlier is true, and I've believed this, that change is difficult, particularly when you're not happy about the change, particularly when you don't think the change puts things in the right direction. And I think a lot of fans feel that way. As Tom said, he's got family members that have just been turned off by this. I do too. A lot of us do. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a settling period, for lack of a better way to put it. I think there's an acceptance period. Look, I don't like a lot of the way this is set up now either. I mean, sometimes I look at it and just shake my head, like, what are we doing? But this is the system. And so, if you want to compete within the system, you got to play the game. And maybe people are disgusted by that. Sometimes I am too, but I don't think we're going to change it.
No, I don't think it's changing anytime soon either. Curious to see if we see a commitment from Boogie Fland or Billy Richmond later on today or in the coming days. As again, they were in Fayetteville last night. Don't know if they're still here this morning. I would guess they're probably just now waking up. But that is the latest on what's going on with Arkansas basketball. All right, we got our Hog update coming up in just a bit. I want to tell you what Isaiah Joe and Jaylen Williams did in a 32-point win over the New Orleans Pelicans last night. Plus, James McCann ended the game in Los Angeles, ended the series. We'll tell you more about that coming up in just a bit. But first, I want to tell you about our friends at Gaston's White River Resort. You're always looking for a place to go, right? With the friends, with the family, with the wife. My dad and my stepmom like to go to Gaston's just for the nature. They don't even fish. Like, I don't know why, but they just like to go for the nature and the food. It is that fun. We heard Clay tell us earlier this week on Ruskin and Zach that there's a lot of famous people that go out there, like Jack Nicholson. I mean, you would be amazed at the people that come see Clint and his team at Gaston. So it's good enough for them. It's good enough for you. It's best trout fishing in North America. I had people in Bozeman, Montana telling me about the White River. They know about it up there, and everyone knows about it. If you haven't been, go to Gastons.com. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. Hey, this is Hunter Yurtek, Director of Athletics at the University of Arkansas, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, this is Arkansas wide receiver Isaiah Satania, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
It's a fish fry at the Tackle Box. Jerry and the team will be frying up fresh fish.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
MLB, but what about a throwout from James McCann? Ended the series between the Angels and the Orioles yesterday.
Adele, the time run at first. He's on the way to second. Here's McCann's throw.
You know they're going to take a look at this.
Los Angeles challenging the out call at second base.
Oh, that's a lot closer than I thought. That looks like he's safe.
He's definitely safe.
After review, the call in the field stands. The runner's out.
It stands, and the Orioles win the series with a fifth of a down.
6-5, the final yesterday in Anaheim, Los Angeles. Chuck, I'm honestly surprised you heard boos. I didn't think anyone went to Angels games to begin with, but apparently there are some fans that were.
Well, evidently it must have been a call that riled them up. I didn't see it, but hey, how about James McCann? I mean, he's been doing this a while now. He's like about 35, which is a young man, but ancient for a ball player. Yeah. So he's still hanging in there.
Got a new teammate. Heston Kjerstad got called up earlier this week, so happy to see that for two guys.
I kind of wonder what's going on there. They called up Holiday, and by the way, that guy looks like he's about 11. And but they've got him up there. Yeah, Holiday looks like he's about 11. And but at any rate, he's struggling. And I'm wondering, the trade deadline's coming up. Have they called up Kjerstad because they're ready for him to be a big leaguer for them? Or are they calling up Kjerstad to showcase him as trade bait for a starting pitcher? Oh. I don't know the answer to that. I hope that they're calling him up because they're ready for him to be a big leaguer for them. But I also, and I've read a little bit about, the Orioles situation. They've got an embarrassment of riches when it comes to young players.
Isn't their farm system like the best in the MLB, Chuck?
Well, it's very good. I don't know about I don't know what's the best, but they're very good. They're good enough. And I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to be anxious to see how all that plays out.
That is, I didn't even think about that, but hopefully has some...
And I don't know that that's what's going on, but it has crossed my mind. Do they want him to play for them, or are they trying to figure out who they're going to trade to get a frontline starter before the trade deadline? Because they've got enough young talent that they could go get conceivably the best pitcher on the trade market when we get to July. So I just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. And how Holiday does, I think, figures into this too.
On the subject,
but they're not trading him.
On the subject of young talent, Baltimore seems to have a lot of it, as does the Oklahoma City Thunder. 2 former Hogs, 2 former Northside Grizzlies. Big part of that, including Isaiah Joe, who canned 2 threes last night.
Williams in the corner. Dallas makes a move and kicks it out. It's a long shot by Isaiah. Sweet-looking rainbow.
So you had Jaylen Williams with the hockey assist to his former teammate at Northside. As Isaiah, again, 8 points, 2 for 2 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and is just one of the best shooters in the NBA. But he's shown you this year, he's not just a shooter. The guy can throw it down. He's also right now up for the dunk of the year in the NBA.
Rebound. It's a 2-on-1. On the break, Isaiah Joe shines it up. Throws it down.
I know it's disappointing to see Bobby Portis Chuck come in 3rd place last night, but you still got a former Razorback that could win an NBA award. And you have 2 guys right now. I mean, Oklahoma City's looked pretty good in these first 2 games that can maybe continue to make noise as the playoffs progress.
Well, here's the thing about Isaiah Joe, and for that matter, Jaylen Williams and Patrick Beverly and Bobby and every single one of them that's stuck in the NBA. You got to guard people, man. I mean, we focus on the threes and the dunks, and those are what make the highlight reels. But if you don't guard people, you don't get to the playoffs. And if you are not on a team that gets to the playoffs, because let's be honest, two-thirds of the league gets there. If you can't be a postseason guy in the NBA, it doesn't mean you're not going to play for a while, but you're going to be a journeyman. And these, Isaiah and Jaylen, we've talked about this before. We're so fortunate that they went to that franchise, that committed to a youth movement. And you have to remember, you don't have to have a long memory to recall when they weren't any good at all. I mean, they were getting stomped every night out because it seemed like their average age was about 17. So now these guys are grown-ups. So we talk about the how their physical builds have changed. Well, you think about not just with Jaylen and Isaiah, the ones we focus on, but look at Holmgren and look at the other Jaylen Williams and look at SGA now compared to what he was when he was at Kentucky. I know he's still like skinny as a rail, but he's put on good weight too, and he's strong, and they're smart players, and they've been through the war, so to speak, at a young age, and they've come out on the other side. They're only 23, so their best days are still in front of them.
And hopefully they continue on into June. Would be awesome to see this team get back to the NBA Finals for, I believe, the first time or the second time since 2012. All right, last thing here in your hog up. All right, last two things, actually. Mentioned Boogie Fland and Billy Richmond were on campus last night. Visits. Chuck, I know that you keep getting asked about what Cal's doing. Sounds like he's recruiting here in Fayetteville with those two on campus. And then you brought this up. I can't remember if it was on the Morning Rush or on the pod, but D1 Baseball comes out with different regional projections from time to time. Their most recent one has Arkansas teamed up with the Columbia Regional, South Carolina, who you just played recently. You'd welcome in, if their predictions pan out, Oklahoma State, Louisiana Tech, and Little Rock. How about that for a potential regional?
Well, these projections are interesting, and some of them are right on the mark, some of them aren't. D1's been better than most over the years. I mean, they've been projecting this thing for, 20 years, it seems like, maybe more. And they've, they understand how the committee works and who puts which team where. The one thing that I think was very appealing early on was the real regional aspect. You played regional teams. I used to play Wichita State a lot back when they were good. Now it seems to be Oklahoma State. I do think that, you could spice this up a little bit. I think there's some things you could do to spice it up. I don't think it always has to be a team within, a 4-hour drive. That's nice. But the regional that you just put forward right there, Arkansas should win. It'll be well attended and a lot of fun. I don't know that those will be the teams that'll be in there. But, there for a while it seemed like we play Wichita State every year, and now it seems like it's Oklahoma State every year.
Yeah, there are a lot of tie-ins with Oklahoma State. You played them already this year. You went to the Stillwater Regional a couple years ago, and it seems like the Cowboys and the Arkansas, whether it's prediction or it actually happens, are consistently paired up one way or another. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, coming up in hour number 3. I know we've gotten some local perspective on this, but I want to get a national sense coming up on this basketball team with Cal from Jeff Borzello, who covers college basketball for ESPN. I do want to mention you do have guys in these next 2 years, in 2025 and 2026, Deshaun Andrews, JJ from Little Rock Christian 2025, and then Terrion Burgess, Ben Kidd, and then also Isaiah Seeley. They're all top 100. Isaiah's top 55, Terrion's top 75, and then JJ got ranked 13th of all high school basketball commits in the class of 2026. So we're going to talk about all three of those guys and the guys on campus like Billy Richmond, Boogie Flant, some of the other guys Cal might be after, including a player or two out of the transfer portal. You don't want to miss it. If you can't make it, you can tune in on hitthatline.com, hit that line now, or you can listen in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. But he joins us next. Stay with us. Hour number 3 of the Morning Rush on a Too Stupid Thursday coming at you.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RV.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor A from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting this season and every season. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends all at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. The fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Go to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. Bet online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McCarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Hey, it is hour number 3 of the Morning Rush here on a Too Stupid Thursday. And we've got some college basketball to discuss with ESPN college basketball reporter Jeff Borzello. Excited to get his national perspective of what's going on here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And according to their own social media, Boogie Flan and Billy Richmond were in town last night. 2 highly recruited, 4 or 5-star, depending on where you look at. So excited to see the prospect and possibility of them ending up in Fayetteville, Arkansas. All right, so we're going to do that coming up in just a bit. Before we do that, I want to tell you about our friends at Uncorked off Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Chef Jazz is always whipping up something good, like the fried okra with black and ranch sauce, the new Philly steak bites, which are on the happy hour menu. You need to check out their spring and summer menu, which has so many great options, like fried deviled eggs, the charcuterie board. That is a favorite of ours whenever we go. They've got the great TV setup. And again, the spring menu just started a couple days ago. So if you haven't been to Uncorked lately and you're looking for something new or something that is really nowhere near the River Valley, then Uncorked is the place you want to come check out. So come see Chef Jazz and all their offerings. They're great wines, they're great beers, they're great cocktails at Uncorked off Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
You know, he's a busy guy, but he's still making time for us. That's Jeff Borzello, ESPN's college basketball reporter, writer. He does it all for him. Jeff, we really appreciate you making time for us. Let's start with the guys that are on campus last night. And I think of as this morning, Boogie Flan, Billy Richmond. I don't know if they're friends. I know they were a part of that Kentucky recruiting class initially. What can you tell us about the 2 highly recruited players that are here in Fayetteville?
Yeah, I don't know if they're friends, but I mean, every elite player kind of runs in the same circles. I mean, they played on the same AAU circuit together. They've both played on the Nike circuit. They both played in the Jordan Brand Classic. Obviously, as you said, they're both committed to Kentucky, so they're familiar with each other. They're both from kind of the New York, New Jersey area. So they run in the same circles very much. And I think Arkansas is in a pretty good spot for both. Obviously they were both committed to Cal at Kentucky. And the schools that, for Richmond, it was down to Kentucky and Memphis before he committed to Kentucky. And Memphis doesn't seem to be, all that involved at this point. And then Boogie Fland, it was Kentucky, Indiana, Alabama, and neither of those schools is really in the mix either. And so it just feels like both of these guys decommitted and pretty quickly focused on following Cal to Arkansas. And so, as of right now, I feel like Arkansas is in a pretty good spot for both players. Now, if they leave the visit without committing, then, suddenly some questions open up. But it does feel like momentum is trending in Arkansas's direction with both players.
Jeff, Arkansas fans are watching John Calipari recruit closely for maybe the first time. What's the secret? Where's the magic? Give us a sense of what it's like when Cal walks into the gym, the presence that he has.
Yeah, I mean, people turn heads. If he walks into a crowded gym, you kind of know he's there if he walks in. He does have that kind of, I don't know if aura is the right word, but, he's got a presence about him on the recruiting trail for sure. And he has a history to back it up. He's produced so many NBA players from his time at Kentucky and his time at Memphis. And before the last couple of years, he had the college basketball success to match. And so it was a pretty foolproof argument for him, a foolproof pitch on the recruiting trail. Hey, come here. You could win 25, 30 games. You could win NCAA tournament games, and then you could be a lottery pick. It's hard to turn that down. And Kentucky and Duke Kentucky, but Cal by himself pretty much ran the top 10, ran the 5-star rankings for a while, and then it was Kentucky and Duke for several years. And now it's, there are other schools that are wading into those top 5, top 10 waters. But Cal, even, his final class at Kentucky before it fell apart, was the number 2 class in the country. And so it's clear that despite the downturn on the court over the past couple of years, especially in March, he still has a pretty good pitch. And again, I think a lot of it is just his history of producing NBA players. And obviously he's said the number a bunch of times, but it's, however many hundreds of $1 million in NBA contracts from guys that Kentucky produced during his time there.
When you look at the elite players that are considering schools, what's the tipping point? Obviously, NIL has changed the game, but recruiting is still recruiting. You're just recruiting with different inducements now. What do you find to be the tipping point sometimes with these elite players on where they ultimately decide to go?
Yeah, NIL is obviously a huge factor, but for a lot of these guys, it's, will I play the role I want? Will I get the shots I want? Will I be able to be there for 6 months and then leave? Because as we've seen, a couple of his UK guys, DJ Wagner and Aaron Bradshaw, I think at this time a year ago, everyone assumed they'd be in college for 6 months and then go to the NBA, and they just didn't perform. And I think that's kind of the fear for a lot of these top 5, top 10 kids, especially in the transfer portal age where it's, hey, we want to play 22, 23-year-olds over 18-year-old freshmen. And I think that doesn't just go for Cal. I think that goes for the rest of the country. It's just harder for a 18-year-old, 19-year-old to make a huge impact right off the bat. We saw, Reed Sheppard did it and Rob Dillingham did it, but it's far fewer than there used to be where, the lottery picks of the NBA draft would be 8 freshmen, a couple international kids, and very few older guys, college players. And now we're seeing the Dalton Connects of the world, the Zach Edey's of the world stay in college for 3 or 4 years and get drafted highly. And I think a lot of that is because freshmen just aren't making the impact they used to. So I think that's the biggest thing now. NIL obviously is a huge factor, like you said, like I said, but I think a lot of these freshmen or high-level recruits are making sure that they're going to a place where they can play their role from day one and succeed in 5 or 6 months.
We're talking a little college basketball this morning, Arkansas basketball. Jeff Borzello, ESPN, does a lot of college basketball content for them. You mentioned DJ Wagner, Jeff. What's the latest on him? He's one of the guys Arkansas fans are really intrigued by.
Yeah, it's been quiet. I think Arkansas is a possibility. I think Louisville is in the mix. Obviously, they recruited him before he committed to Kentucky. And I do feel like he's been, maybe a little bit unfairly evaluated after his freshman year. I mean, even though he wasn't the number 1 or number 2 player like he was throughout much of his high school career, I mean, he still averaged 10 points and 4 assists on a top 10 team, and he started 28 games for them. And so it feels like people are writing him off as kind of a bust, even though for a lot of freshmen, like I just said, a lot of these guys aren't producing like they used to. I think that he's still a guy where if he lands in the right spot, whether that's Arkansas or somewhere else, I think he's still a incredibly talented, dynamic shot maker, playmaker that, with another year under his belt could still be a future first-round pick.
So what about Jaden Quaidens? I know that you've reported on him. He seems to have pushed Arkansas out of his list, Louisville, Memphis, some schools. Why has he decided that Arkansas is no longer a candidate for him?
Yeah, that was just kind of a strange one. It seemed like once he decommitted, it seemed like it was that he was likely to just follow Cal to Arkansas. And then Louisville got in the mix, and it seemed from people that I spoke to, it was probably going to be Louisville or Arkansas. And then suddenly other schools are entering the mix, and Kentucky's trying to make a pitch, and Memphis is getting him on a visit. And so it seemed to just kind of take a few twists and turns that were unexpected. And it did feel maybe not a coincidence that Kentucky and Arkansas basically were dropped out of his recruitment on the same day. And it's kind of unclear as to what really happened, but it's evident that, Memphis and Louisville are sort of the 2 schools in the mix for him going forward.
Help us on some other transfers. John L. Davis is the popular name right now with Hog fans, as is Jonas Adu. Is there a legitimate conversation that they could both one of them winds up in Fayetteville?
I think they both can. I mean, I think Arkansas is the favorite for Janelle Davis right now. I know other schools are trying to get in the mix, but it seems over the past probably week and a half now where Arkansas has emerged as the favorite in the driver's seat for him. There was always questions whether he would follow Dusty May to Michigan. It never seemed like it was as likely as perceived. And, I mean, he's the best available guard in the portal, probably the best available player in the portal at this point. And, I mean, he would, I think, thrive in sort of Cal's system if he did not end up at Arkansas. I do think they're the favorite. Adu, he's another guy. I mean, he's a top 10 transfer right now, one of the best front court players. He's a plug and play. He can make it. He's experienced in the SEC. He was one of the best defensive players in the league. 3rd team, I believe, all conference, or 2nd team all conference. And so if they get both, I mean, that's just 2 anchors for them, and they're going to get other guys too. But it seems like, that they are certainly in the driver's seat for Janelle Davis, and I think they're in a pretty good position for Jonas Adu also.
Jeff Borzello is our guest, ESPN college basketball analyst and writer. Jeff, what about a former Razorback? I say former. He technically hadn't left yet. Caleb Battle, he was in Dallas-Fort Worth yesterday with TCU. I think he has a K-State visit. Is there any indication that he could still wind up in Fayetteville?
I mean, I think there's a chance. I mean, he visited TCU. He's visiting Kansas State. I think Seton Hall might try to get involved and bring him back closer to home. The question with him, I mean, he's going to be a guy that, as you guys all know, he's going to want his shots. He's wanted his shots at every stop dating back to high school. And so if you start throwing guys in the mix where it's you get Janelle Davis, you get Billy Richmond, you get Boogie Flan, you have Carter Knox already, suddenly the available shots are they're dwindling. And he's not the type of guy who's just going to play 12 minutes and then come sit on the bench. He's a guy that, as we saw toward the stretch of down the stretch of the season, when he's able to kind of flow and play with, and be the kind of the focal point of the offense, he's at his best. And that's just not going to happen if they end up getting all these guys. So I think the door is open for him to come back, but I think that there are probably more opportunities for him to, be a number 1 or number 2 option at a TCU or a Kansas State or a Seton Hall or wherever he ends up going.
We're talking about guys that would help this team next year, but for the future, let's stay here in Arkansas. Y'all just came out with your top 100 rankings for both the class of 25 and 26. A couple of Arkansas guys on there. You got Isaiah Sealy of Springdale. You got Terrion Burgess of Benton. Deshaun Andrews, Sean Andrews' son, is on there. It's number 13 in the class of 2026. Jeff, I know you got to keep your tabs on a bunch of recruits, but what can you tell us about some of these in-state kids that may have a desire to play for Arkansas in the future?
Well, I think there are 2 kind of big variables we're going to have to watch with what Cal does in terms of in-state recruits. I mean, one is that it's historically been really hard to get kids out of the state for other schools, to beat Arkansas for in-state kids. I mean, I know the stat that I always kind of cite is once Malik Monk committed to Kentucky, there was a 6-year stretch, I think, from 16 to 22, where not a single top 100 kid left the state to go to school elsewhere. I mean, kids just want to stay home. But the other factor is what Cal does with his roster construction. I mean, that was the biggest key after they lost to Oakland. Everyone's questioning how he's building his rosters nowadays. Does he go away from getting huge number 1, number 2 recruiting classes with 6, 7 guys, or does he start going more toward the portal? And does he want to say, hey, I'm going to keep recruiting like I did at Kentucky, where I'm just going to go after 5 stars and call it a day? Andrews is going to be a can't-miss prospect for whoever wants to get him. National prospect. I watched him last spring, and he's just more physically advanced, more physically developed than most of his peers. I mean, just the way he runs the floor, the way he finishes, the way he just kind of glides in the half court to the basket. He's going to be a guy that I would imagine Cal will prioritize in it. He probably could have done that at Kentucky too. The rest of them, and Kellen Robinson was another one in the 25 class inside the state. I think it's going to kind of depend on how they develop. I mean, I think at least the first 2 will be SEC recruits. And so it wouldn't be a surprise to see Arkansas get in the mix. I think Kellen Robinson might end up being maybe just a notch below what Arkansas is trying to build under Cal. But I think it's going to really depend on how they progress over the next couple of months and what Cal wants to do with – I mean, he is not going to focus on the 25 class for several weeks now. I mean, he's got, 2 guys on the roster right now? So he can't really turn his head toward future classes just yet. And so I think it's going to depend on what they do in kind of the big events in May and June and July to see what Arkansas really does with this 25 class.
Jeff, we'll leave it there. I know you're busy this time of year, and it keeps getting amped up with all these transfers. So we appreciate you making some time for us this morning, and we'll see what happens with Cal's class in the next couple of weeks.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, again, that's Jeff Borzello of ESPN College Basketball. Knows a lot of stuff nationally. Sounds like Cal. Chuck, I thought you asked him a really good question. And I was watching just these videos of Cal entering the Overtime Elite thing in Atlanta last week, and it's just like when he walks in, everything changes is the best way I can describe it.
He knows how to make an entrance. I think it would be fair to say that. Pardon me there. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. You know, when I hear Jeff and others talk about, well, Arkansas is in the driver's seat for this guy, and everybody in America wants him, or Arkansas is in good shape for this guy, and everybody in America wants him, there's still part of me that just, like, shakes my head. Is this really happening? I mean, is Cal really our coach? And but it's fun to watch. And when you hear these, hear these names and see the schools that they've been considering, and Arkansas, or all of a sudden Arkansas, rockets to the top of their list. I mean, it's pretty heady stuff.
It's unbelievable. And I was listening, and I asked him. I asked him about the 2 guys on campus. I asked him about Janelle Davis. And he's like, "Yeah, Arkansas is good." And I'm just like, are they going to get all these guys? Well, might not get all of them, but it sounds like you're going to get a good chunk of them, Chuck.
Well, and you mentioned something a little bit earlier, and it's so true. And this is what the kids see. This is what guys, all the names that you just mentioned, all the players you talked about with Jeff, what they see is what you brought up earlier this morning. All those players that played for Calipari who are just showing out right now in the NBA playoffs. I mean, they're showing out. These aren't just guys with roster spots. These are guys that are MVP candidates, backbones of their teams.
Yep.
Miami won last night in Boston, and Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero were they were the big reasons why. And you look all over the NBA, and it's just, the league's just littered with them. Not the least of whom's, SGA, who, he's as smooth as they come. Hey, this week on the Market Moment podcast, Lee, Matt, and John examine the recent market trends with the Magnificent Seven, including Tesla's big drop. And they talk about a lot of stuff. I mean, if you pay attention to your money and the market and the economy, I think you'll enjoy what these guys have to say. They talk about the global market, for example, this week. Cheap Chinese exports like steel And, clearly they focus on the economy in the United States. Some businesses are going under. What's the real state of the economy? They talk about that this week. And you can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment podcast by heading to market-moment.com. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
I thought also one of the interesting parts of our conversation with Jeff Borzello was me asking him about Caleb Battle. And Caleb was in Dallas-Fort Worth last night. Sounds like he's going to be in Manhattan, Kansas shortly on a K-State visit with Jerome Tane, but wanting his shots. And we saw Caleb emerge down the stretch this season. With the exception of Lawson Blake, you're not going to have a single guy on the roster, it sounds like, coming back. I know there's still things possibly in the works or whatever, but I wonder how Caleb and how Cal, Chuck, is possibly looking at his return, if that's even a possibility whatsoever. But I thought he made a solid point there.
Well, I'd be very surprised if that happens. I would be very surprised. I mean, I hesitate to say Caleb's not going to be part of the Razorback basketball team next year. I mean, I hesitate to go that far because I don't know that, but I'd be very surprised.
The only one that kind of came out in a weird way was Jaden Quaidens. It sounds like a lot of the guys that you've been initially after, you're still in the running for. Now, Roach is a Baylor Bear. We know that, but Quaidens is the only player that was originally committed to Kentucky. You thought you might have had a chance, or you thought you were going to get. Sounds like he might be going to Memphis or Louisville or another destination. But that was some good stuff from Jeff, and we really appreciate him joining us this morning. As we talk Arkansas basketball, as Cal builds his roster towards a possible championship, our coverage is brought to you by Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com, and by Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit maverickmalemedical.com. So we mentioned some Kentucky guys, but what about some Arkansas guys, including Jaylen Williams last night, always getting put through the Jaylen Williams experience.
Sprinting ahead. Bounces right into J. Will. That should be an offensive foul, and it is. Ingram gets a little bit of the J. Will experience.
So I know, Chuck, the first game was a 2-point win. Last night, though, 32. It's a stark contrast between games 1 and 2 from the Thunder.
You know, I thought last night they played the way I suspected they might play in game 1. You know, they really took it to them last night. Mm-hmm. They made some adjustments because at the start of the game, I mean, the big guy for New Orleans, whose name I can't pronounce, I mean, he scored like their first 11 points.
Yeah.
But they made adjustments and blew them out, and they were impressive.
Holmgren, as we've talked about this morning, the Trey Wade punking him in San Francisco, he's come a long way since then.
Oh, yeah, you're
I'm
right.
I'm glad he is an Oklahoma City part of that organization. All right, we still got a lot to get to here on the Morning Rush.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com. Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com. Maverick Male Medical, your wellness and aesthetic center for men in Northwest Arkansas. Look better, live better, love better. Visit maverickmalemedical.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters, climbing ladders, and worrying about potential damage to your home? Well, listen up to me now. Leaf Guard of Arkansas has got you covered. Introducing Leaf Guard, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never, ever clog. With Leaf Guard, you can kiss goodbye to all the hassle of climbing up and cleaning out all that muck and mud and shingle grit. No more hiring someone else to do it, or worse yet, risking serious damage and issues by doing nothing at all. Spring is finally here, which means it's time for Leaf Guard's famous Ugly Gutter event. Leaf Guard will swoop in, take down, and haul haul away all those unsightly gutters at absolutely no charge, and you'll receive an incredible 60% off installation on a whole house Leaf Guard gutter system. But wait, there's more. Ask about the 0% financing options and additional discounts for seniors and military personnel. Do not let ugly gutters ruin your home's curb appeal or cause costly damage. Call 501-664-5400 or visit LeafGuardandMore.com to schedule your free estimate today. Leaf Guard of Arkansas, protecting your home one seamless gutter at a time.
He struck him out swinging. This is historic. You've never seen anything like this before.
This is the Morning Rush.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on remaining 2023 Buick Envisions. Or choose up to $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision, it's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Greenwood Collision has been a part of Greenwood since the opening in 2007. Now they invite you into their new state-of-the-art facility. They offer customers a lifetime warranty and work diligently with all insurance companies to better serve their customers. Greenwood Collision has a color matching system, guaranteed an exact color match each and every time. Stop the worrying. Call Chris or Joe today at 996-9922. Greenwood Collision, 2615 West Center in Greenwood.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Billy, can I ask you a question?
You just did.
Seriously, we are getting a lot of positive comments about you. What's your secret?
Oh, really? I just follow the 4 W's.
4 W's? Aren't there 5?
5?
Yeah. What, where, when, why, and who?
Wes, who starts with an H?
That's how.
I don't know how. It just does.
No, who starts with a W?
You sure?
Positive.
Anywho, my 4 W's are, what would Wes want? I picture every customer like there's you asking for something. What you want is what they want. What would Wes want? WWWW, 4 W's, makes 8 U's.
Huh?
Treat customers like you, and it doubles the people. Pretty simple the way I see it.
4 W's. What would Wes want? Billy, you're brilliant.
Eat Jim's, RazorbackPizza.com.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
We're asking these guys to come in and be great right out of the chute, and it's impossible. It's like asking a freshman quarterback in the SEC to come in and win you a championship. Man, those guys are generational when they can do that. The expectations placed on quarterbacks out of the gate are just wildly unrealistic now.
All right, so you're going to hear this sound later on tonight. Roger Goodell's arrogant butt is going to get on stage and say, with the first pick of the 2024 NFL Draft in Detroit, Michigan, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC. And it's going to be the worst pick of the draft. They should draft Jayden Daniels over Caleb Williams, and I'm going to tell you why coming up. And if you need a place to watch the NFL Draft tonight, any Arkansas games, or just feast these next couple days, Joe's Grill and Cantina is the place to go. Awesome fajitas on Friday, the char-broiled steak, the awesome chicken is always full of flavor, comes with the extras. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce, all the beef, all the chicken enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina, great Tex-Mex, better service, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith. I mean, this is the franchise where a pastor was praying and saying, God, you play football, right? You're going to help us this year.
And I want to thank you for our mayor for raising up a young man with such a significant heart for our city. Thank you for the McCaskey family. Thank you for Brett Kevin. And now we thank you for all of the people who will benefit by the Bears staying in Chicago. I don't know that you play football, but I am asking you to help us. Help us to win some games. Help us to get a Super Bowl here. Help us to play in the Super Bowl and bring back the 1985 roaring, cheering fans we had for your glory and for our good.
Chuck, 1985 is a long time ago, man, and it's not coming anytime soon if they draft Caleb Williams later on tonight.
Well, I got a lot of questions about Caleb Williams too, but I think that's what they're going to do. And I guess if you look at all of them and put the numbers to it, which is what they do, I guess he's the one that adds up to the highest total. Everyone's looking for that franchise quarterback to come in and just change everything, change the attitude from the moment they walk in the room. And I guess they think he's going to be that guy.
I guess. Josh and Harrison wants to know later on tonight, how many Eagles draft picks are used on former Georgia players? I mean, that has been Howie.
Yeah, that's kind of their farm team.
Yeah, is it Howie Roseman? I think is their GM that they just draft.
Well, they go for a lot of SEC guys.
Yeah,
I mean they like the SEC, and I mean why not?
No, I don't know. That's their thing, but I mean, there's a lot of stud players that play football in Athens, Georgia, so. That's what they do. I'm wondering, again, we've asked about what Arkansas players. We asked Tom earlier. I think it's going to be Dwight McGlothern. I could be wrong. I think he said Bo Limmer is probably going to be the guy that he thinks is first coming off the board. It's not going to be anyone tonight, Chuck, but hopefully in the next few days.
Well, I think the players that Arkansas is going to have drafted they're going to be drafted by teams with specific needs for that position. I'm not sure that any of them fall into the best player available category. The guy that's not getting mentioned a lot is Jeffcoat, and I wonder where he's going to fall in the mix. Somebody's going to give him a shot, either via the draft or via the free agent market. Little may be the one that has the most immediate impact, if you want to get right down to it, assuming he wins a job. And as Tom Murphy said earlier, I've seen projections that have him the first one taken.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that you look at and think, he's probably the closest to being an NFL guy is McGlothern, I think. But I don't know. Maybe the team that needs an offensive lineman, maybe the team that needs a guard or a setter. Maybe they see Limmer out there and he's the best available for what they need. So I think all that's going to factor into it as well.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, if the Green Bay Packers decide to kick Anders Carlson to the curb and they draft Cam Little, I'm going to that Chinese website and I'm buying the first Cam Little jersey I can buy in a Green Bay Packers.
Well, I get you, but Anders Carlson's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're going to cut an Anders Carlson to draft a Cam Little. They might. Now, I do think it speaks so well to Cam.
Oh, he's the best
kicker. Not just as a kicker, but as a teammate. I think that's got a lot to do with it too.
You've talked about like the players go out of their way to talk about him. Like the conversations that you've had, that's one of the first teammates that was often mentioned these last 2 or 3 years.
And I think that's one of the things that teams look at to a degree. Maybe not the overriding issue, but I certainly don't think it hurts.
Yeah. And his dynamite leg has something to do with it. He's the number one.
Sure it does. Yeah. Absolutely.
He's the number one kicker last time I checked on Mel Kiper's board. Curious if he is the first kicker that comes off later on in the next couple days. It's Detroit, Michigan. The eyes of the sports world will be on Detroit, Michigan for the NFL draft these next few days. Hey, if you're looking for a great fishing lure, then check out all the items at Pradco Fishing, specifically the Yum Dinger. If you're trying to catch that largemouth bass, you can do so with the Yum Dinger. If you're fishing in Oklahoma, you're fishing in Arkansas, wherever you need to catch that bass or any other fish for that matter, you can do so. It's available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Yum Dinger, made by Pradco and made right here in Arkansas. So when we come back here on the Morning Rush for your SEC update, I'm not trying to take a Tommy Tanks home run off the dome like an LSU fan did the other night. LSU fan Corey had some thoughts. I think he had a mild concussion, to be honest, or maybe he's just not the most intelligent guy in the world. You never know with those Cajuns down there. But we'll tell you about what happened in Alex Box earlier this week and other things to get to in your SEC update when we come back next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Drew Morgan, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
You guys are the best. This is the Morning Rush.
The first thing people notice when they drive up to your home or walk in any room of your house is the color. And if you're looking for the perfect color and the perfect paint, you'll find it at the Paint Store in Van Buren. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The Paint Store in Van Buren gives you hometown service from people who know what they're talking about. You don't have to chase them down to get help at the Paint Store. They're always there to help you get that perfect color and that perfect match for your project. If you're looking for the perfect paint color, it's at the Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You need money. You get a job. Turns out that job doesn't pay near enough for the nonsense it puts you through every day. You want to move fast, but the clock moves slow. You're smart, though. You know machines. You want to work at a place as fast as you. You call Medley Equipment Company. They need a technician, and they'll teach you everything you need to know to be the best, with pay raises all along. Because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a GMC Sierra Crew Cab at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Choose from 2.7 or 5.3-liter Sierra Crew Cabs this month and get 2.9% for 72. Or get up to $6,500 in factory rebates on select 2024 GMC Sierra trucks. Conquer with confidence in a new GMC from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
But except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
All right, let's get into your SEC update as we close out here on the Morning Rush. A lot of SEC guys in action last night. Isaiah Joe, Jaylen Williams, Cason Wallace, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Also have New Orleans Pelicans, a guy or two on the roster there. But it is it's pretty cool to see all these SEC players, particularly Cal's players. And then the other game, we mentioned Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, two former Kentucky guys, beating the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown by 10 last night. That was surprising. I thought Chuck made a phenomenal point earlier. You don't want to see Miami in the NBA playoffs. That is just asking a lot, but to go up against that organization. But your guys, particularly Arkansas Razorbacks, stepped up last night, including Fort Smith's finest, Isaiah Joe.
Williams in the corner. Dallas makes a move and kicks it out. It's a long shot by Isaiah Joe. Sweet-looking rainbow.
Sweet-looking rainbow. Man, he has a pure shot. He's been developing that thing since he was in elementary school. I remember watching him. He was back in town for a weekend, and he was with his little brother Jacob. He's got another younger brother, and with his dad Derek and his mom. Just watching Isaiah shoot's one of the purest things you'll see on a college basketball NBA court. I mean, he has worked and worked and worked. He's added weight, as has Jaylen, and it is so awesome to see them on the best team in the Western Conference of the NBA. Now, I did mention before we went to break about Tommy Tanks and a home run. Listen to this call earlier this week and then listen to the reaction from this fan. Tommy Tanks goes yard and plunks the guy in Alex Box outfield.
Boy, that ball was a rocket shot. Now, we got to turn our attention to that fan out in left field who took a Tommy White one to the noggin. That guy looks woozy out there. I mean, can we go check on him? Watch this. This is gone right there. As soon as he hits it, it's gone. He knows it. And it is a laser. Now watch the fan. He sees it coming. Oh, he tries to catch it. But it's been quite a long time since he's played catch.
All right, so take that into context, right? Put that in your mind. If you haven't watched the video, if you haven't seen it, so keep that in your mind. And then now we'll fast forward to the interview with the fan. LSU Corey, his thoughts on getting hit by Tommy Tanks.
I mean, it was on a rope, and, I've been carrying this glove with me for years, and I was like, okay, now's my time. I got one coming, and hole in the glove, man. What can I say? It beamed off my dome, and here we are. I've got a nice little goose egg.
Can we see it?
Oh, well, I mean, if you want to.
Does it hurt?
It don't feel good. It felt like every bit of a 109-mile-an-hour fastball, home run ball, yes.
Did we get the ball afterwards? Or?
No, it skipped over the fence, but Josh Pearson, man, he's such a great guy. He came to toss me their toss ball that they do in between innings, so he tossed it to me. I guess probably Friday I'll go get Tommy White to sign it for me, and maybe kiss my Bobo.
Kiss his Bobo. That's LSU fans in a nutshell right there. Corn dogs, Cajuns, Big C. I don't know if you've seen that video. I know he cut the audio this morning. Were you laughing mid-cut this morning?
I just try to imagine myself in those situations. Getting hit in the head with a baseball is not fun. And that's happened to me plenty of times.
Yeah, you played good high school chunk back in the day.
Dude, I'll tell you, I was a kid and I got hit. I was playing catch and I got hit in the head and it swelled up so huge. I'll have to show you the picture sometime.
My brother hit me with the baseball bat in the head one time, and it probably is why the way I am. Let's be perfectly honest. I think that makes a lot of sense for you listening. I was like, it's like that's why he is the way he is. All right, last thing here in your SEC update. Later on tonight, and we'll have it right for you here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com, you'll have the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears with the first pick.
Carl Walarski. How you doing, Bill? All right, we're talking here live from Ditka's on the heart of Chicago, Illinois, the city of the big shoulders, and home, of course, to a certain football team which has carved out a special place in the pantheon of professional football greats. That team which is known the world over as the Bears.
The Bears will make a dumb decision tonight when they draft Caleb Williams over Heisman Trophy winner and former LSU Tiger Jaden Daniels. Please, Chicago, if you want to actually get back to your first Super Bowl since 1985, draft the kid from LSU. Don't draft the kid from USC. I promise you'll be better off. All right, that is your SEC update. As always, brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas. You can take advantage of their savings right now as they're celebrating their 46th anniversary. You're going to get incredible deals with in-ground pools that construction can start in May. Save up to $12,000 off. The above-ground pools, you're going to save $1,200 off. And the semi-in-ground pools, you're going to save $5,000 off. Hot tubs start at an unbelievable price of just $39.99. Celebrate with us and pocket huge savings at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale, in Fort Smith. At Burton, we do more than just build pools. We build long-term relationships. Check them out online at burtonpools.com. All right, so we've had a good show this morning. One of the highlights, Jeff Borzello joined us earlier in the program. 8 o'clock, if you missed it, Bud Light Morning Rush podcast, had some things to say about your basketball program, what Cal's done. And, I asked him about Billy Richmond, who was in town last night. I asked him about Boogie Flant, who was in town last night, both five-star guys. Sounds like Arkansas might get a chance of a commitment soon. Asked him about Janelle Davis, outstanding guard for FAU. Sounds like Arkansas is the leader of the pack there. What about Jonas Adu, the center, all-SEC teamer from Tennessee? Sounds like Arkansas's got a pretty good shot at him. Again, we keep saying the word recalibrate, right? You're having to recalibrate what you think about Arkansas basketball recruiting. Not what you know it can be, We've seen it at its zenith. We've seen it at its pinnacle under Nolan Richardson. I say we. Y'all have. I haven't. I'm ready for it, though. I'm ready to get this thing back in San Antonio, Texas for the Final Four next year. Y'all on the boardwalk or the Riverwalk and enjoy what it's like to be on top of the college basketball world that you were in the 90s. From, I think it was 90 to 96, you won the most games of any Division I program. Guys, we've got the capability to do that. We really do. And I don't think you have it in football. I know you got it in baseball. You just got to win that first. I think once Arkansas wins that first national championship, I'm not going to say that a flood of them are going to start and they're going to go back to back to back or anything like that. But you just got to get one if you're Arkansas baseball. But back to basketball, it's there, man. And you're going to start getting some dudes in here. Not that, again, this is not a Bash Must show. I am so happy that Eric Musselman was our basketball coach. Cal doesn't come here if it wasn't here, I don't think. You could push back on that. You could say, well, Tyson would have offered the same stuff. The program wouldn't have been where it was without Eric Musselman. But now, he didn't want to be here. He's out in Los Angeles doing his thing, and Cal's doing his thing in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And his thing has worked before. You just need to tinker it, revitalize it, and hopefully it can be done again. All right, as we close down here on the Morning Rush, Christian, I want you to jump in line with me and give me your thoughts on Missouri's football schedule. Someone sent this to me, and Arkansas's got a decently difficult schedule this year. I mean, you're going to Stillwater week 2, y'all. Playing the defending Big 12 runner-up who returned like everyone. Wide receiver. Oh, by the way, they plucked AJ Green from you. Listen to Missouri's football schedule this year. They host Murray State in Columbia. They host Buffalo in Columbia. They host Boston College. Boston College is their Power 5 opponent.
Oh, well.
Then they host Vanderbilt. So that's 4-0. They travel to College Station. We'll see. They travel to UMass. They'll blow them out.
UMass? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Auburn at home. Bama on the road. That won't be an easy game. Hosting Oklahoma. On the road at South Carolina. On the road against Mississippi State and against Arkansas at home to close out the season. It's the easiest SEC schedule by a country mile here on a Too Stupid Thursday. It is a Too Stupid Thursday, and that is about as stupid a college football schedule as I've seen in this conference. Look at Arkansas, which I am so excited for. Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas, all coming into Donald Reynolds Razorback Stadium. You're going to Stillwater. Stillwater's like 2.5, 3 hour drive for a lot of you. The Northwest Arkansas, the western part of the state, even if you're in Little Rock, under 6 for a college football venue, that's pretty cool in Boone Pickens Stadium. But Missouri's schedule is a joke, Big C, an absolute joke.
So do you think they get to 10 wins this year again?
I wouldn't see why not.
With that schedule, yeah, it's possible. But like you said, if they get to 10 wins this year, that's not near as impressive to me as it's impressive to go back-to-back 10-win seasons, I guess. But last year's season was going to be more impressive if they do it this year. Now if they go undefeated or something, it's kind of hard to say. They talk about the schedule. It is Missouri still. When they win 10+ games, it seems to always catch people's attention. But that was an easy schedule. Buffalo, and then Murray State. They have a football team.
Yeah, I think that's news to a lot of people here this morning. I guess that's just par for the course when it comes to Arkansas's football. And again, I'm excited about it, but at the same time, it's like, look at their schedule. Your road schedule's not awful. I mean, Auburn, we'll see. Mississippi State, probably the worst team in the SEC West outside of yourself. They're the prove it team along with you. Texas A&M as the visitor you're the visitor in Jerry World this year, so it could be worse, but it could be better like Missouri's schedule. All right, again, if you missed any of our stuff, Chuck, me, Big C, Colton had a good 3-hour show this morning, Too Stupid Thursday, Jeff Borzello, Tom Murphy, all that is in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Now, I'm going to do something, I'm going to say something, and I hope it comes to fruition, because I'm supposed to talk to this guy in and out. DeVore Remock played with national championship winning team in 1994. I think he's going to join us live from across the pond, as they say. I'm supposed to talk with him after the show, so if you want to listen to what it's like for a Croatian player to come to the U.S. and play, I know he was at Fayetteville High School before he played at the University of Arkansas. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I think I'm going to have that set up for 8 a.m. If I don't, I'm going to say it's my fault, but I think we are in line for that. So a little teaser, hopefully a teaser that comes to fruition for tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Either way, we're going to have a loaded show. Going to talk to Tabes at 7:20 and going to talk all things Arkansas basketball. Might have a commitment or two by the end of the day. We'll have to wait and see. You know the way you know? You listen all day. You listen for the updates on halftime and Ruskin and Zach on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and our brand new Hit That Line Now app. For Big C and Chuck, I'm Ty. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back in these chairs tomorrow for a Fastball Friday at 6 a.m.
Hello there, homeowner. Roger Scott for Leaf Guard Gutters of Arkansas. Are you tired of dealing with clogged gutters?